Hey, what's up everyone? Today we are looking at the Jakks specific Sonic the Hedgehog 2.5-inch classic Sonic and Trip action figures. Just real quick before I start, I do apologize for the brief hiatus. I have been having some health issues, which is why I've been away for a bit. So I'm going to be behind on a few items, but I have been getting a lot better now, which is great. And I thought I would start out with these two right here. I don't know which wave is which, honestly. This is another one of those scenarios where both waves just come out very close to each other. So, like, I don't know if maybe this is wave 21 and then this is 22, or maybe it's like, maybe it's the other way around. I don't really know yet, but I'm gonna assume maybe this wave comes out before Trip, I would assume. I don't know. You guys can let me know if you guys have more information about that. Anyway, so these are two new figures right here. We'll start off with the new classic Sonic figure. This is like the foot tapping Sonic figure. This is like what he does, like his idle animation when you're not like moving the character. Here's the back. So here's the other figures that's in this wave. You can see we got Fang, Buzz Bomber, Modern Tails, and then Burrowbot right there. And then it does have 6 points of articulation. Now here is Trip right here. The packaging is kind of odd though, because it doesn't show the other figures that's part of this wave. She has 5 points of articulation, but I'm not sure why. So this Sonic figure, like, I got this on Amazon. It came with like two other figures. Like, it came with the Fang and then the Modern Tails. Now Trip, on the other hand, I got this on Big Bad Toy Store. They had this figure and then a bunch of other figures, which I would assume was probably part of that wave, but Ball Hog was part of this assortment. But even then, there's nothing on the back of the packaging for this. So I'm not entirely sure, really. I don't really know. I can show an image of who else was part of the assortment for this Trip figure. So maybe that's the full wave, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it is. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so here's the figures out of the packaging right here, and both of these are actually really nice. Trip is obviously a whole new character here. This is a first time in the line for Trip, and in classic Sonic we've seen many times now. But me personally, I don't mind seeing the same character as long as they're doing something like new with it, and they're doing that here with this classic Sonic figure. The very iconic foot tapping idle animation that he does, which is really neat. I mean, I love classic Sonic. I grew up with the classic Sonic era, so I can never really get tired of the classic Sonic figures, or if they're introducing any new characters as well, which is cool. But these are both really nice. I really like these a lot. With classic Sonic, you can see we do have a new head sculpt. It's pretty simple though. You got the rotation here to the head. Of course, the arms move back and forth. I don't think you're really gonna do much with the arms. If you put them in any other direction, they just look kind of weird. Even when you rotate them, you're mainly just gonna keep the arms like that by the waist. Honestly, we still get the hinge to the shoulder, of course. The hips, they're standard. The legs move back and forth. There's actually a hinge on this foot though. Very minimum though, not a whole lot of range. But then we get the toe hinge right there, and there is still peg holes. But that's neat though that they included this in. And then we have Trip right here, and I've heard that Trip is also getting, I mean, I would assume Trip would definitely be getting a 4-inch figure, but her 4-inch figure I would assume is not too far. They usually like to keep like the new characters, like their 2.5-inch and their 4-inch, like really close to each other. So I imagine her 4-inch figure will be really close. The helmet is not removable though. I'm not sure if that's going to be the same with the 4-inch. I would assume it's probably going to be the same, where it's going to be molded onto the figure, and maybe in the future they'll probably make like an unhelmeted version of the character. But this figure is actually pretty nice. The paint job around the mask came out really good, especially the yellow paint. But it actually came out pretty good. I like the overall sculpt too. Even the tail came out pretty nice too. Obviously we got her whole armor around. She has a fisted hand and an open hand, and she also does have the peg holes there. Some of the paint does tend to rub on a little bit here with the foot. I think I've had it here with, yeah, with the mask too. You can see there's a smudge right there. And the articulation is standard too. The head can rotate. Because the head's sitting pretty high on that ball peg, you'll actually be able to move the head a little bit more freely. So she'll, if you force it a little bit more, she's actually going to be able to look up, and then looking down, as you can see, she can look down a little bit, and then a little bit of like a tilt right there. So that's pretty good. And then the arms do move back and forth. Of course, there's the hinge. It only goes, I mean, it's going to come in contact with her giant helmet, so it'll just go high where it meets the helmet. And then the legs can move back and forth. Rotation, of course. No rotation though with the ankles though, but you know, you are rotating the entire leg. And then the tail is actually just on a ball peg, so you can like shift it back and forth, up and down, and there is a rotation. And I really like the sculpt they did for the tail as well. So yeah, overall it's a really nice Trip figure. This actually makes me excited for the 4-inch figure a lot, even though I don't usually be that excited with the 4-inch figures on the or with the classic figures, because I always feel like they're just too big and their heads are like really huge too. But overall, this is a pretty nice looking Trip figure. She came out pretty great. I like the sculpt. Paint job is pretty nice. Articulation is of course fine for what it is. I think it's nice, along with the bonus there for the tail. So here's a comparison for Classic Sonic right here. We got a bunch of other variations of Classic Sonic. I don't know if this is all of them. The guy's been re-released so many times, it's hard to really keep track of all of them. But you can see, you know, we got the very first one right here, and then, you know, the chili dog eating one. That one, I can't remember when that one came. I think that originally came with the Eggmobile playset. And then we got like just a regular standard one. But yeah, you can see different Classic Sonics right here. The blues still seem about the same, but I think the skin tone on this one looks like it's a little bit more yellow than the previous ones. Now here's a comparison for Trip. I have her next to the 4-inch Robotnik figure, along with the 2.5-inch Fang and Classic Metal Sonic figures. She seems to be around where Fang is at with the scaling. The hat just makes Fang look a little taller, but she does fit right in pretty good. Robotnik might probably seem a little too tall though, and then the 2.5-inch one is like too small. But if this one isn't working out, I can still just bring in the Jazzwares one. I think that one still kind of fits a little bit better, because he's not too small, but he's also like not too big either. But the Jakks one does look a lot cleaner though. But this one doesn't look too bad with these three. Okay, so that is going to wrap it up here on the Jakks specific 2.5-inch Classic Sonic and Trip action figure. So again, if you want to know where I picked these up, I got the Classic Sonic on Amazon, and then I got Trip on Big Bad Toy Store. But let me know, what are your thoughts on these in the comments down below. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Until then, take care, my friends.
Story Select.